to my channel. Today's video is actually going to be part 2 to my fashion school experience. If you haven't seen my fashion school experience part 1, where I talk about the 3-year course that I did at the fashion school Istituto Marangoni in Milan, I invite you to go check out the link below. Like this, you can go check it out and learn a bit more about my 3 years there. Today we're going to talk about my master course experience in the same school and in the same city. Because yes, I did 4 entire years in Milan in the fashion school called Istituto Marangoni. So for my master course, I'm going to talk about how I got in, what the course was about, the different classes I had, and what's next. What happens once you're done there. So on paper, the master course at Istituto Marangoni Milan is for about a year. So it's going to take a year to completely finish it. However, once you actually see it in real life, it's a bit different. You have 9 months of classes, and then for about 3 to 4 months, they kind of follow you through the career service to see if you're actually finding a job, if you're struggling, if they can help out, etc., etc. So this is a little bit how it functions. We are going to talk about master course vs master degree. If you've seen my first video about the 3-year course I did in that school, you know that it was not an actual bachelor degree, but a 3-year course. So what about the masters? Well, it was a master course and not a master degree, so you do not have credits at the end either. However, I'm not going to go too much in detail because I talk a lot about it in my first video, but for the masters, it was not an issue, in my case at least. Anyways, to come back to my master course. So it was a master course that happened in Milan at Istituto Marangoni, and I chose to do fashion promotion, communication, and media. So basically, it was a bit of an extension of my first experience at the school where I did the 3-year course. Because if you've seen my video, I've done the fashion communication and new media 3-year course there. So this was basically my decision, and it started in February 2019 and finished in October 2019. So it's pretty recent. That's why I'm very excited about this video, because I can say a lot of things about it because it's all very fresh in my head. So basically, I started in February 2019, and the year was organized this way. There's 3 terms, and this is the same as the 3-year course. Every year has 3 terms, so it's about 3 months. And the first month was pretty much about the basics of fashion. So you had journalism, again, a little bit as I did during my 3-year course. You had fashion semiotics, fashion sociology. Of course, it was a bit tougher than the actual 3-year course I did. The second term was a bit more about graphic design and how to use InDesign, how to use Photoshop. And we had a lot of other classes, of course, not only this, but this is just to give you a bit of an overview of how it's organized. And the third term was a bit more about the final thesis and a few other projects with some brands. Concerning this whole year, I will start by just talking about brand projects and the thesis, and then I will give you a little bit my opinion on the master course. During my 3-year course, I didn't have any brand projects, so no brands came to the school to give us projects to do. However, during my master course, I think we had like at least 3 to 4 brands come to us and ask us to create maybe a communication strategy or come up with a special project. So we had a lot of things like this with actual brands, and this was great because you get to meet the people behind the brand. So most of the time we would have contact with the communication, PR people. Being able to work with brands is definitely one of the pros of this program. Then I talked about the thesis, the final thesis. And in my first video, I didn't talk about the final thesis of the 3-year course because it was a very small thesis, and I just thought there was so much information already in that video, I didn't want to add a thesis to it. But for the master course, I think it's important to talk about it. The number of words is not a lot because obviously this is a master course and not a master degree. So it's not like 10,000, 15,000. It's literally half of that. It's really not that much actually. But they did ask us to come up with something or to do something in the field that we'd like to work in. So for example, I actually have my thesis right here and I wanted to show it to you. Like this, you have an example of what they expect you to do. This year, weirdly enough, during the master course, they didn't really ask us to create a nice design for the thesis. During the 3-year course, they did ask us to do this, but not during the masters. However, I do like to create nice designs and to create a nice layout, and I love using InDesign, so I did create a nice layout. So this is my thesis right here. here. I wanted to talk about the luxury experience in my country, Switzerland, and talk about 2 cities that are very important in Switzerland, that are very famous, but that have, as I said, a weak or low luxury experience. And I came up with a strategy on how to raise or make that luxury experience better. I did the research part and then the strategy. So I'm not going to show you everything, but basically I can show you a few pages. For example, like this. This is one page, this is another page, and another one. So this was obviously very fast and I didn't want to show everything because this is not about the actual thesis. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the thesis. I wanted to mention that Istituto Marangoni, obviously I had a great experience. Really go check out my first video because I say a lot about the 3-year course there. The master course, I personally loved it. The only thing that I can mention that is a bit more negative, the master course was not really well organized, less organized than the 3-year course, I feel like. So for example, actually the thesis is a good example. Like, it was not really written clearly anywhere what they expected from us. You have some people that will do a beautiful layout for a long time and some others that will just do more research. And how do you really grade in an equal way both works, you know? So this is what I would say is a bit more of the weak point of Istituto Marangoni for the master course. But other than that, I have to say everything was really great. Now I wanted to talk about what happens after the course, because obviously I finished in I think it was end of September. Most of the people who did the master course, they end up searching for a job because we all have a bachelor's or a 3-year course. So now it's time to get a job after the master course. So everybody was searching for jobs, me too. And what happens in this moment is that you have the career service that is gonna send you a message asking you how you're doing, have you been finding a job, etc, etc. And on a platform that Marangoni has, you have the option to find eventual job possibilities or job offers. Most of the time it's in Milan, but they do have it in a few other countries like Shanghai. I think even Paris was on there. So they do have a platform that offers job possibilities. I was searching a lot in Switzerland, and obviously they didn't have a lot of options except in the Italian part of Switzerland, which was not what I was interested in. So I found it by myself. I did find a job. I actually started recently. It's a communication related job. It's not totally related to fashion, or actually not at all. So I took, I think, 2 to 3 months to find a job. I will say 3 months. Most of my friends took the same amount of time, so I would say this is what you would have to expect. It's pretty much it about my master course experience. I don't think there's anything else I should add to this video. Other than that, I really hope this video was helpful and that if you want to join Istituto Marangoni, it's a little bit more clear for you. So I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!